understand it unless you were here.
It's been an interesting few days.
So, around 6 or 7 p.m., we started becoming hungry. We wanted to go eat something. Went in the kitchen. Mom was in the kitchen. She's making pizza. Smells really good, but they're occupying the kitchen. And a couple times I really wanted to go in there and cook, but decided, you know what, they're in the kitchen, like, let me give them their space. I don't want them to feel like, you know, you got strangers kind of like cramping them up, and we're just all trying to share. And they're using the burners and everything, so kind of like would peek in there, and I kept seeing that they were still in there. So we were all trying to figure out our night. We were gonna leave and go out and explore and do different things, so I just figured, no big deal. Went in there a couple other times, they're still in there. We decided we were just gonna stay home for the evening, so we were gonna play a board game or something. And I'm thinking, we still haven't eaten, you know, we haven't had lunch or dinner, just snacks. So I decided to go take a peek in there. They were still in the kitchen, approaching 11 p.m. Finally I look and they're gone. So I go into the kitchen, again it's 11 p.m. and I'm in there searching everywhere, can't find the pan because I want to heat up cooked sausages so that we can all have a couple brats. I'm not cooking an elaborate meal, I'm just pan frying some sausages, that's it, like just one thing. The dad, who has had the major issues with us this entire time, he comes out from outside with a beer in his hand and he's like, can I help you find something? And when I told him I was looking for a pan, that's when everything changed. His entire demeanor changed, his body language. He like shot this really like disgusted look with me. It was at that point where he completely became disrespectful. He starts yelling, and his entire issue was the fact that I was cooking at 11 o'clock at night. He reminded me that this is not a luxury hotel, and just goes on and on and on, like who cooks at 11 p.m. And it started becoming a conversation that was getting way out of hand. He started really yelling. Gio and Yao came into the kitchen to figure out what's going on. At one point even the sons had come in there individually to figure out what's going on. This conversation became so heated and elevated that I became very uncomfortable. It's been thing after thing adding up to the point where I feel like he just exploded, and it became a full-blown argument, and it became so bad that he basically told us like we can just leave, we can pack. He wanted us out because every time he would say something, it didn't really add up, so we would try to explain or, you know, just try to defend ourselves because he was saying some OC stuff. And every time we'd say something, like, he would talk over us and then just be like, one more word, like, I'm done, this is it, one more word, you're out. You know, and of course we don't want to leave and be kicked out. It's midnight now at this point. So if they hadn't been in the kitchen for as long as they had been, I wouldn't be cooking at 11 p.m. And that's the truth. When I tell you I was just like this, like almost shaking because I was getting so angry, it got bad. Gio left because he was about to lose it, and it's not worth us like getting kicked out on the spot and being on the street at midnight with nowhere to go. So
how to behave.
You guys were in there and I didn't want to be in your way. That's honestly why I did.
Okay? And you leave tomorrow. Right away. Is that clear now? Very clear. And if I have one more word, you kick you out right away. Is that a clear point? There is no cooking now. I am aggressive because I want to be. I have work like asshole. Okay? And I don't want any discussion anymore. The whole thing started very odd.
It did.
No fucking hotel in Europe accepts guests
Watch
after...
your language.
Huh?
Watch your language talking to us like that. You don't talk to us like that.
Nein. 11 wird hier nicht mehr gekocht.
All because I'm going there cooking.
Shit makes no sense.
Starts yelling at me, looking for a pan. That's what started it all. This is...
Y'all hear that?
This is the Airbnb from hell.
Y'all hear that?
We shouldn't be yelled at for cooking. It doesn't say there's a cutoff time for cooking. The reason why we didn't go in there earlier to cook is because they were in the kitchen. They were in the kitchen for 3 or 4 hours.
There's a way to do everything.
It is 11 o'clock, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Let's just say they got in the kitchen around 7 p.m. That was from now until they remember I was like, I keep going to check and I was like, oh, they're still in there. That's why I keep waiting to go in there and cook. All I want to do is heat up sausages in a pan. That's it. And I can't go in there.
When I'm at home, if I'm hungry, I cook.
Right.
There's no.
That's why someone stays at Airbnb, because it feels like home. So you can.
Even at a hotel, like if you're hungry, you
go anytime you want.
As far as that whole,
heat up food.
as far as that whole, checking at this time, check-in is after a certain time. You can check in whenever you want.
What's annoying about him is just like he's like a know-it-all. He wants to like assert his dominance at all times, and that's not how you conduct business. This is a business. This is not how we're not treated as if we're not treated as if we're paying customers.
Man, I don't know. Overall, so far, aside from the amazing times I had at Oktoberfest and with my friends, staying in this Airbnb, meeting these people has not been a fun experience. And it's not, I know it's not a reflection on Germans, but it's definitely a stain.
We are on here now trying to find a backup place for Germany to stay in Munich. We found one place, but it looks like it's kind of far from Munich. It was like about an hour, but Yao was on the duty trying to find a place.
We came to Germany to have a great time. We thought we lucked out by finding an Airbnb, and we were taking a chance because it seemed as though we were its first people to stay with, or that he had hosted. And it seems to be the most hellish experience that at least I've had in Airbnb so far. We got here, it just seemed I guess they had their own experience, but when I got here, it was a nightmare. There's gonna be differences in cultures no matter where you go, but that expectation should be set. Especially on Airbnb, they normally say, hey, like, we abide by these rules, don't do this, don't do this, do this. And as long as those rules are made aware, everyone's on the same page. If you don't list things and then you still hold those expectations, that's unfair to the other party, because how are they to know? You can't assume things.
Right.
Brings our guy Hassan into it, who's from Pakistan. He's been living here for some time, and he's kind of shared with us he hasn't been treated the best way either. So in a couple of days,
I take my phone.
Your phone. He's gonna grab his phone, so he wants to write something and tell us something, but he's having a hard time finding the English words to say, so he needs the translator. But he said that when he can, he's gone. He doesn't. He said when that guy was talking, he was standing behind him. He started crying because he feels bad.
I'm sorry.
know if it's because I feel like it's gotta be because we are not white. I feel like it's gotta be a race issue that he has with us. I don't know what the problem is, but it can't be this bad if like, people are Polish. He admitted to feeling uncomfortable with people in his house, and I was like, I can tell. Like he feel like you noted that he feels very uncomfortable with people, strangers in his house. You signed up to have strangers in your house that have paid you to stay in your house. I mean, just this whole trip has been filled with him trying to belittle and demean Americans and people that are from the States the whole time. How Germany is better, how his people are rich, how his country has a greater GDP than the US. Everything he's been saying has been letting us know or trying to convey to us that Germans are better and that he's better.
So you've been here 2 years?
No, I have 2 months.
2 months left.
Leave here after I am cool.
So after 2 months you're leaving? You're leaving Germany altogether?
Hassan is a guy that we met during our stay in Munich. He was introduced by Angry Andy as a Pakistani refugee who we provide shelter for. But it turns out Hassan is made to pay $20 per month just to stay at their house, which for someone living in Germany, 17 years old, and without German citizenship, quite difficult. Every month he musters up the courage to ask his girlfriend for the $20 because he's afraid of what Angry Andy will do. He's also made to cook their dinner and clean for them every night. Also, He's only allowed to cook his food on a Foreman grill in their backyard. Does this seem fair to you?
She's not participating, I think.
That's hot.
What's this?
Bro's food.
Uh-huh. What is that?
It's hot. He brought us food because we didn't get to cook. Because they went to sleep.
High fives around, man.
Super clutch.
Staying in another Airbnb, not my first time. It's gonna be great. I was wrong.
Definitely an Airbnb from hell.